We'll get to the gambling stuff in just a moment. One college football note first. Did you see where Texas A&M, their second starting quarterback, transferred or announced that he was leaving the program just the other day? The same guy that Kevin Sumlin, the head coach, said he anticipated starting the bowl game against Louisville. So you've had six quarterbacks during Kevin Sumlin's reign now leave the program. Six of them, including two this year. And these two guys were top-notch Texas recruits. That does not bode well for Kevin Sumlin, who maybe in retrospect, when he had a chance to move away from Texas A&M a couple of years ago, when he was the man that everybody was pursuing in college football because Johnny Manziel made him look like a genius, maybe he should have moved on. Because at this point, if you're a quarterback out there, and yeah, you want to play in Texas, you want to play in a spread offense, you want to play for someone who's an acknowledged offensive guru, does it make you feel warm and fuzzy when you know two quarterbacks, each of whom started games this year for the Aggies, both left, and six total have left over the past, 3.5 to 4 years? I don't think so. Now, of course, the other more important things, did you see Star Wars yet? I was there Thursday night, 7 o'clock show. There were probably a dozen or so people in the showing that I went to, all dressed in their Star Wars garb. I can tell you that I was not one of them. I'm not really that big of a Star Wars fan, to be honest with you. May the Force not strike me down. But I have to say, it was an outstanding movie. I mean, maybe my favorite movie of the 7 made so far. But again, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. No plot spoilers here. I'm not that type of guy, but certainly deserves the rave reviews that it's getting. I was telling my son after the movie, go back to 1982. Now, I'm working my way through college, and I'm selling high-end audio and video equipment. And I'm working at a mall where we had 3 sound rooms. And the first room of the store at the mall was where we had VCRs and Betamax machines. Yes, Betamax machines set up. A VCR at that time, a 2-head Panasonic or RCA VCR, $999, because they were new kids on the block. The 4-head fancy-dancy model, $1,799 up to $2,299. And these machines were so new. Literally, every time we sold them, I had to go to somebody's house and set them up and give them like a play-by-play of how to use the damn machines. But they were slow movers because A, of the price, and B, people really weren't so accustomed to what they could do with the machines. Because remember, it wasn't like there was a Blockbuster at every corner at that time, okay? It wasn't like there was a huge library of movies to rent. Instead, you could record TV shows. Oh, wow. Do you know a blank VHS tape and a blank Betamax tape back in those days? We used to sell a blank tape, standard grade tape, for $12.95. The high grade tapes, $17.95 each, and we couldn't keep them on the shelf. So I got this idea one day. The front of our store, we had 5 TVs set up along one wall. I spent the night one night all hardwiring them into one 4-head VCR. Why? Because Star Wars had just come out on VHS, and I ordered a copy of it. So I started playing it on Saturdays and Sundays. I kid you not. People were lined up in front of those TVs, 6, 7 deep. I would easily have 60, 70 people in the store watching this movie because, again, this was something new. Oh, my God, I can walk into a store. I'm seeing Star Wars. I saw it in 1977, they're saying to themselves. You know, I maybe saw it on TV, but now I'm watching it on this newfangled thing called a VHS player. We sold so many VHS players at that point, so many copies of Star Wars at that time. Matter of fact, it propelled me into starting to rent movies. Suddenly, I got this brilliant idea. Hey, there are no video rental stores. Let me order a bunch of films and start charging $5 a night. Couldn't keep the movies on the shelf. Different time, obviously. Nowadays, you know, a VHS recorder. Oh, my God, a Betamax machine. Can you even find them on eBay? Anyway, we move on. College football bowl season starting today. Listen, guys, as far as the bowls go, you know, I often find that the early mean-nothing games, as I like to call them, the little minor league bowl games, I often find them more entertaining and more easily winnable than the marquee matchups that you're going to get a few weeks from now. A couple of reasons go into this. One, you have teams that just played 2 to 3 weeks ago instead of Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, etc., that aren't going to play for a 5 to 6 week period before they hit the field again. So you have a little more recent history. But I think the most important thing with the early college bowl games is you have to decide when you're handicapping which team wants to be there, which team really cares about being involved in the bowl game today. And of course, as a sidebar, you also got to factor in which teams have outgoing coaches, are being led by interim coaches. where the regime is certainly changing as the schemes are as well. So there's a lot of sidebars that you also have to consider. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to take a look at a couple of your games today. I'm going to break down the New Mexico Bowl between New Mexico and Arizona. And I'm also going to take a look at the Las Vegas Bowl between Utah and BYU. And I also have a free play on your lone NFL game tonight between the Jets and the Cowboys. That's all coming up in just a moment. This, of course, being Saturday. You know the drill, guys. Each and every Saturday, past 4.5 years, I've given you a money-saving discount coupon code that could potentially save you hundreds of dollars off your total purchase price. And today is no different, as that coupon code is 23%. 23PRCENT. Sing it after me. 23PRCENT. That'll save you 23% off your total purchase price. Remember, this is a mix and match coupon, which means it's good for any combination of handicappers, picks, and/or packages, and it's a single-use coupon as well, which means you can't come in and buy one guy's big play and 4 hours later come in and buy another guy's big play. No, you got to put everything in your shopping cart at one time to maximize your savings and save 23% off your total purchase price by using coupon code 23%. I really ought to pre-record this portion of the video report so I can take like a minute break, take a sip, something to drink, and then I wouldn't have to do it every single Saturday. Now, big featured play, Chuck O'Brien. I wish all handicappers would come back to a site after a near 3-year absence and do what he has done. Today, Chuck O'Brien, biggest NFL release of the season, 50-dime winner, number 6 in a row, his 4th straight in the NFL. He's won all previous 5 50-dime plays since he returned about 3 weeks ago. He's going for winning day number 7 out of 8, I believe it is today. Biggest NFL release, 50-dime winner, number 6 in a row, 4th straight in the NFL. Your Jets Cowboys side, you get it for over half price off, just like all the other 50-dime plays he's had and won by using coupon code SATURDAY, SATURDAY. Just as strong as the 50-dime college basketball winner you got last night on South Carolina over Clemson. Just as strong as his 50-dime winners in football last weekend with the Giants on Monday night, the Patriots on Sunday night, and his first NFL play was calling for the Broncos outright upset of the Patriots a few Sundays back. Again, you get it for over half price off by using coupon code SATURDAY. Also, don't forget Anthony Red, going for college football winner number 23 out of 33. What a nice run he has had in college football over the past 3.5 months. This from a guy who is going also for winning day number 51 of 82 long term and number 30 of 48 short term. A 100-dime winner number 6 out of 8 and 4 out of 5 in college football. And it's a game that I know he's going to be because it's in Las Vegas. It's the Holy War game between BYU and Utah. You can get it as savings of over $60 by using coupon code RED, his last name, REDD. All your other discounts, all your other coupons, etc., are over on the homepage. You can check it out for yourself. Let's talk about these games in reverse chronological order. I'm going to go with the New York Jets minus the 3 to 3.5, and naturally anywhere between 3 and 4.5. I'm buying down that half point, as you always know. I buy down or buy up the half point when that line is anywhere between 3 and 4.5 points because I think it's the wise investment strategy. You got a Jets team that's won 3 in a row. You got a Cowboys team that's barely still alive in the NFC East for postseason contention. I mean, if you think San Jose State, one of those 5 and 7 teams, is a joke having a college bowl berth, it would be a bigger fraud to see the Cowboys make the postseason. They haven't done anything without Tony Romo. You know the deal. Matt Castle laid an egg last week again at Green Bay in that game, 13 for 29. I think 1 interception, maybe 114 total yards in that game, 28-7 loss. How they won that game against Washington 2 Mondays ago is beyond me. Oh, not really, though. I say that in jest because since I had Washington that night, let us just say once again, bonehead play by Deshaun Jackson screwed us all that night. Anyway, I'm going to go with the Jets because Ryan Fitzpatrick has thrown 9 touchdown passes versus no interceptions in the last 3 games. And I just like the way the Jets are playing right now. And their defense, which kind of sagged a little bit in the middle of the season, has really come on strong here the past couple of weeks. So I'll lay the points with the Jets for your first complimentary play. Your next one, continuing the running them in reverse chronological order. Let's see, 3:30 Eastern time at Sam Boyd Stadium. You've got the Las Vegas Bowl. Sam Boyd Stadium, one of the lousiest stadiums in college football, Division I that you'll ever happen to see. And a traffic nightmare if you ever try to leave it on Boulder Highway. Anyway, Utah is a 2.5-point favorite against BYU in this edition of the Holy Wall. Now, here's the thing with when I look at this game. Does Utah care? They were in the same game last year when they beat Colorado State. This is a Utah team that had the second best record in the Pac-12 behind Stanford. But they got designated as the number 6 Pac-12 team when it came to their bowl placement. You talk about a snub, that's what the Utes got. Now, BYU closed the season with momentum, winning 7 of their last 8. Only loss was the game at Missouri, and that was, of course, the game that followed a few days after the near strike by the players, Gary Pinkel announcing his retirement. I mean, if all the cards could be stacked against BYU that particular day in Columbia, Missouri, they were, and it showed in a 20-16 loss. But still, they won 7 of their last 8 to finish the season. Utah dropped 2 of its last 3. More importantly, the Utes lost really their top offensive performer, Devontae Booker, their top running back, who ran, I think, for over 1,260 yards this season with a knee injury. That leaves Travis Wilson, who you look at Travis Wilson, you go, okay, this guy can take off, he can run the ball, he's got a strong arm. And then you look at his final stats and you go, 13 touchdown passes, 10 interceptions. Just average, just a mediocre quarterback because he's never been able to be replaced there. So I'm going to go with BYU. I'm going to grab the points. If the line's at 2.5, I'm going to buy up to 3 in this particular contest. And I'm going to go with them to win again in Bronco Mendenhall's farewell game for the Cougars. This will be a heavily attended game. You're going to have probably a near sellout at the Las Vegas Bowl. So even though Utah's covered 5 of the last 6 meetings, even though Utah's covered 8 of its last 10 bowl games, even though Utah probably has the better defense than BYU, I just think the disappointment of having to play their in-state rival in a game that they were at last year, although I don't really see where it's a big disappointment. You know, when you're a 17 to 22-year-old kid and you're faced with going to a bowl game that you don't necessarily want to play in, and your choices are, hey, let's go to Mobile, Alabama. All you fans of Mobile, don't be pissed off at me. I'm just using it as an example. You can go to Mobile, Alabama, or you can go to Vegas. It's a no-brainer for me. So I'm going to go with BYU in that game. Then the New Mexico game. Now, there's the Lobos playing in their first bowl since 2007. Playing in the New Mexico Bowl in their backyard on home field in Albuquerque against Arizona Wildcats, who were just dreadful this season, not only because of injuries, but again, Rich Rod's team. When everybody was healthy, they scored a lot of points. They couldn't stop anybody. 113th in the nation in total defense this year, 106th in the nation in scoring defense this year, giving 36 points a game. And now you're going to be tasked with trying to stop that New Mexico triple option pistol attack that resulted in the 9th best ground game in the country this year. Oh, that's going to be tough. And remember, this is a New Mexico team that pulled off 2 monster upsets in the final month of the season this year, beating Boise and also beating Air Force in their season finale. But here's where I think it's a trap game. I think most people will think along those lines. It's a disappointing game for Arizona. The Wildcats, could they care less about being in Albuquerque? New Mexico has the home field advantage. Arizona, you got to wonder about the team's mental attitude since their coach was reportedly flirting with taking or being interviewed for the South Carolina job that eventually went to Will Muschamp. So, right, that's the trap situation. But I look at this game and I go, Jesus. Lobos, okay, they had a good season. Who the hell did they play? Arizona, you got hammered week after week after week against Stanford and USC and UCLA, blah, 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 blah. Pac-12 versus anybody that New Mexico played. It's not even in the same ballpark. And Arizona certainly has the offensive talent with a new Solomon, their quarterback, healthy again. Remember, he had 2 concussions this year, missed a few games, more than a few games, actually. He's going to start today. Nick Wilson is not going to start, however, today. He is still out, their top running back. So even though the Lobos won 6 out of 9 games, I think this is going to be a slugfest. I think there's going to be plenty of points to be scored. And I can see this game being somewhere like 37-24, 37-27 even. You know, 9 points, 9.5 points. I got to lay him with Arizona in this game. I just think that Arizona has the offensive talent that New Mexico is not going to be able to stop them, even though the Lobos played much better down the stretch. But remember, this is a Lobos team that barely beat Utah State. Granted, they were a double-digit dog, but only beat them 14-13 at home. And the Aggies didn't play well outside of Logan this year. This is a team that lost its second-to-last home game to Colorado State. The Rams? What did they show you this year offensively? And they lost that one at home. So I think it negates the home field advantage. I think all the warm, fuzzy, happy feelings with New Mexico playing at home in a bowl game for Bob Davie, etc., I think it all goes out the door. And I think that Arizona will put up enough points in this one to get the cover. Would I bet on it? Absolutely not. Of the 3 free picks, I like the Jets the most. I would take BYU next, and then I would take Arizona. And that'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all, and I'll catch you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.